All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Welcome back to He's on Fire. Man, I didn't even have my light on for that. What a horrible host I am. Good God. Welcome back, you guys. I got my gangster rapper Christmas sweater on. I'm feeling in the mood, but then all of a sudden we got some really tough news. That's a little tough to swallow, especially this late in the season. I don't know about you guys. When the D-Hop stuff came out, I just was, that figures. Right? And it has to happen now. That figures. But there are good things to look forward to. We have a great show lined up for you. A lot of topics I really want to touch on, especially stuff going on with COVID coming up. We got to touch on the Phoenix Sun stuff. Trade season is officially upon us. I'm actually surprised there wasn't a trade today. I mean, it's December 15th, and this is what everybody was waiting for. And with league tampering, I just kind of expected something to be coming up. But yet, here we are. Not really sure what is what right now in the Arizona sports realm, but we're going to do our best to bring it all to you guys right now. He's on Fire podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Share it out with us. Here we go.
Urkavici sets, loads up, and it is caught! Dylan Strong! Blitz coming, Matthews, Palmer extending the play, crosses the field, Larry Fitzgerald. Is insane to the 4-yard line. Crowder looking, throws it alley-oop. Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly. The downfield shot, alley-oop. The foot race. They won't get it. Center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
You're muted.
Muted. Thanks for hitting me up. You can tell that I haven't been here for a minute. What a time to be alive, Arizona Cardinals sports fan. News dropping today that one of my favorite players and favorite receivers of all time, Deandre Hopkins, looks like he's out for the rest of the year. Saw some stuff come out yesterday. We thought it would be maybe just this game, and then it was like, okay, now it's a second opinion. Now it's the regular season, but there's hopes he comes back. I'm a little speechless by this, Amit. I got to admit, man. What are your thoughts on this? Just right off the cuff.
It's funny that you said that he's one of your favorite receivers of all time already.
Just the way he made the plays, like how he went up and got
just
the ball,
with the Cardinals,
his
or with
swag, I liked him before. He was my favorite receiver outside of the Cardinals, outside of Fitzgerald. I was a big fan of his. You know?
I'm one of those people that are like, when it comes, those people that when it comes to Jordan, like nobody can touch Jordan. And I fall in that category too, but factually, not just like emotionally. I'm emotionally attached to Fitzgerald being the greatest wide receiver that's ever played the game. Take stats out of the thing. Like, this guy just makes plays when it mattered. But that being said, Fitz coming back would not help this team. It might be an emotional lift, but we already talked about it. Like, you don't want him in the slot when you got Rondale Moore. I'm still unsure how I feel because he's supposed to get the second opinion, but we've been winning without him. I know, in the playoffs, it's going to be harder to win without him. Our margin of error goes down. That's something I want to talk about later.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm unsure. I'm just like in this surreal state.
Yeah. It kind of feels like the JJ Watt thing, where we were 6-0 or 7-0 or whenever that happened. And then boom, I mean, we wake up on Monday freaking morning. Me and Jay get to go to this game, and we find out Jalen Ramsey and their tight end is out. That's a win, right? And then it just reminded me of the Green Bay game with all those dudes out. They still come into our place and kick our ass. And then you wake up the next day and this happens. It's just figures. It's just Arizona sports. But what was your first reaction to this, Jay?
Man, like right when I saw the news, I was just like, dude, we can never get out of a Rams game healthy. Like we've lost so many opportunities, like coming from St. Louis or not. Like the Rams have always cost us some games or seasons, really. So with this D-Hop thing, it's interesting because I haven't had a sprained knee. I don't know how exactly that feels. That's what I've been saying. I haven't seen any MCL stuff or ACL stuff, which is good. But me personally, I don't know what a sprained knee requires. I don't know if it requires surgery or just rest. But yeah, it was definitely disappointing. It definitely had that JJ Watt feel, like JJ was just going crazy, even though the numbers don't show it. Like it's the eye test. Like you see it and you see what Hop is doing. And like Kyler can just throw it in the air and Hop just makes it happen. He's over there somewhere, So, Roy, but yeah, it's
What's
definitely
up, Roy?
disappointing. It's definitely disappointing. But Evan, you brought up a good point of he isn't the reason why we're in the situation that we are currently in. If it was last year, it would have hit hard. If it was before the Buffalo game or all the other games after that. Yeah, it definitely sucks. But what we saw from Antoine Wesley when D-Hop was out was promising. He's a pretty good receiver, pretty good route runner, little mini Doucette. So he has some shoes to fill, and I think he knows that. He knows that he isn't D-Hop, but as long as he catches the pigskin, that's all I can ask from him. And if we have just Kyler healthy, I think our chances are pretty good at the end of the day.
And AJ Green is balling out, dude. Like,
AJ Green had a good game. He had a good game.
He's been balling out this whole season. He should be a Pro Bowler. I mean, what it takes away is like that. Like I said, that margin of error. Where okay, let's say it's the Bills game, right? Fourth and everything, Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's only one guy that can make that catch.
Yeah,
two guys in my opinion. Fitzgerald, who's retired, and then the other guy, who is Hopkins, who's out. So
I'll say Megatron too. That would be my third.
Yeah,
Megatron too. Yeah,
Megatron for sure. Megatron for sure. So those three guys are the only ones that can make that play. So those types of plays, you just can't put yourself in that position where you have to rely on Kyler, because everything basically. And this is my point when we talk about margin of error. Kyler Murray makes this whole thing work. Like, he just needs receivers that can make those types of catches because he can make those type of throws. Because, I mean, I rewatched the Hail Murray play, and it was, dude, he was falling, running off the wrong arm, throwing, leaning back. I mean, it was just the most ridiculous play, dude, in perfect position. And the same play he did to AJ Green, where he's running the other way, full speed to the sideline and throws it to the only place where AJ Green can catch it. And he has to reach over his head like this and catch it.
Yeah. And that's why we won that game, was because of two star players. So the thing that I tweeted out earlier today, and Jay, you mentioned it, that we haven't been winning games because of Deandre Hopkins. He hasn't gone over 100 yards. He's made a couple touchdown grabs that have been nice, but we haven't been winning because of him. In some cases, we've won in spite of him, right? He's out, and so we have to make things up. I think it makes Cliff Kingsbury a better coach and play caller when he's out. Our offense looked a lot better when we had Colt McCoy and you guys. It really did. Why? In my opinion, it's because of his scheme and what he did to get all these other guys involved, get him open, and then the defense knew they had to pick their ass up because Kyler wasn't there. It's just kind of funny that we can't win at home. So I'm okay with not being the number. Look, I'm going to go on record and do what I did with the Phoenix Suns stuff this past year. What happened last year 2, 3, 4 weeks before playoff time. Everybody was wanting to lose games to get a certain seed or win games to get that seed, right? There's playing seed. No, throw all of that shit out. You play the game that's in front of you. You play to win the game, and you just take it, and wherever the cards fall, that's where they fall, and that's what you go play. So don't lose on purpose. Don't win on purpose. Just go out and play the game. So I honestly don't care for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seed. I really don't, because once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And I actually believe the defense is going to step up in the playoffs, unlike they did last year or last week on Monday Night Football. I also believe that this team tried to do the same thing that they did against the Rams in week 4. I don't think they changed it up enough for them, man. Also, the offensive line, Jay, you were there, man. That offensive line was atrocious, dude.
Yeah, it was awful.
Kyler had no time to do anything. And so that needs to be fixed. So their defensive line was nothing that first game. Like, it was neutralized. This game, they were in the backfield all the time, and we made no adjustments. So now we need to make adjustments off of that. Also keep in mind, you know how hard it is to beat a football team 3 times in 1 year? So if we do face the Rams, we don't have that hanging over our head.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is because I think that's kind of why the game plan was the same as the first time. I think they were like, we're not going to show them anything new. And every play
that was my exact thought. Yeah.
I mean, we did that against lesser opponents. We did that against Carolina. I mean, we literally ran every play that they ran. I've seen before.
Yeah.
Like every single play. I'm like, I know, like when the pitch is coming to Rondale, I think there was one play where they did a fake for Kyler, but that was the only thing that was different. But everything else was the same. And I'm like, they may face this team in the playoffs. And so they're going to have a different game plan for them in the playoffs. And that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping why people are, they were going crazy on Cliff for some of those pass plays on those, first and short, third and short. Yeah. He just kept throwing the ball. It didn't look like that same pass control offense that we had previously. I mean, it wasn't just, it was just like 5-yard outs, 5 yards to Ertz, just these little passes, keep the offense moving. It was like, okay, let's go for a 40-yard bomb on 3rd and 1. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Right?
Yep. And I don't know. And in the fourth quarter, I don't know why we would try to run James Conner up the middle again in the fourth quarter with like 7.5 minutes to go. Like, it hasn't been working all game, but let's definitely do it again. And I know they were trying to establish the run, but Jesus,
they were. But I think like usually that's an RPO play, and Kyler gets that first down easy. Yeah. And I'm thinking maybe they're just like, let's just protect Kyler.
Yep.
Funny
stat from that game, real quick, Jay. Funny stat, considering all the running with 22 carries. Kyler had 49 attempts and 4 sacks.
Passing?
Just 49 attempts passing. Had 4 sacks, passed for 383 yards. Not a single touchdown to show for it. Oh, but while we're at it, we're trying to establish the run, right? Trying to establish it. You know what we do? Our red zone plays inside the 5. We had 6 plays inside the 5. We ran it 1 time, and that 1 time got us the touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, and those are plays where you got to give it to Connor. There's a reason he leads the league in touchdowns. There's a reason this guy's a beast. Like he forces you saw that one touchdown where he fucking grabbed like 5 guys and took them in the end zone.
He bounced off 3 and took 3 with him. Like,
yeah, I mean, like
why
that's
wouldn't you give him the ball at the 3?
Right. Like that's not a game plan. That's not like a scheme thing. Like, they're not going to scheme that. You can't scheme for a guy taking 6 guys in the end zone.
And they just
run that play.
Cooper Kupp run all over them and did 13 receptions and did nothing on defense to try to compose him. Like, leave everybody else one-on-one coverage, and they did nothing. It was frustrating. Jay, you had something.
So like I left the game pretty pissed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Because I knew what the consensus were the next day. I knew we were going to be like written off because our only 2 primetime games, we lost by 7. And like, I went home. I went to bed mad, but I woke up the next day. I rewatched the Green Bay game and I rewatched the Rams game, and it's basically the same game, and both negative and positively. But I really think that they're not trying to like show all of our like tricks. I really do, because Kyler was playing way too safe, and it didn't seem like the offensive line. I think the offensive line was on the same page as Kyler in a sense of like let's just see like what they do. It just in both games because it just there wasn't like a sense of urgency from anybody, not even on the defensive side of things. So I feel like they're really just studying because we already got their number in week 4. So like everyone was saying, oh, staff was off, whatever. So with the Green Bay game, it came to AJ Green just not turning around for us to lose that game. Then with this game, it just took some bad play calling in the second half. And especially in the first half when we're down at the 3, we should have just ran it, but whatever. But it just seems like we were doing more studying than really trying to win the game. But at the end of the day, yeah, the Rams did control the whole game. Like it was very dominant performance from them. I do give them credit for that, but it didn't seem like there was a sense of urgency to win this game, and I'm with you on it. Yeah, because there was plenty of openings where Kyler could just ran through when we're on 3rd and 2nd or 4th and 1. There was pockets, and I know he saw those pockets, but he wanted to do the quick pass and just go along with it. But at the end of the day, we're 10-3. Rams are 9-4. They're playing catch up. They lost 3 games in a row. They really needed this win before they were written off. So we're still leading the division. If we beat Seattle, I'm guessing we will. We claim the division. So
all that matters is Detroit.
One game at a time. I think we're gonna win our division anyway. So I'm really not tripping. It took a couple of days to sort of wash it off because I really wanted to win that game. I haven't been to a Cardinals game in a bit. But it was crazy seeing how many Cardinals fans there were. There was barely any Rams fans in the lower sections. Where there was a lot.
I was surrounded by annoying ass Rams fan. I couldn't stand it.
There was
awful.
2 near me, and I know for a fact that they weren't Rams fans before they moved to LA.
I had one guy talking the whole time. Every time Cooper Kupp, best receiver in the league, right there, best receiver in the league. It's like, oh my god. I took everything I had not to say something because I know how California fans are at visiting stadium, so I didn't say anything. Ahmet, are you worried about this team going forward?
No, I'm not at all. So I'm going to get into this take. So I want to talk about margin of error in football. So margin of error in football, if you look at usually the lines are 3.5, 2.5, 4.5, maybe if there's a little bit of a better team. The reason that the line is that way is because there's 2 or 3 plays that really impact the game. Like we analyze the game and we're like, there was holds that were missed. There was, penalties that were missed. There was catches that weren't made, field goals. There's a million things, but it really comes down to like a handful of plays that really decide the whole game.
True.
In this game, we missed on 4th down, twice? 4th and 1.
One of them going right through Deandre Hopkins' hands.
So him dropping a pass, right? Like that doesn't happen. So that's something you can add to it. We had 2 turnovers, right? 2 picks, 2 turnovers, 1 pick in the end zone.
One of which led to a touchdown.
Yep. We couldn't stop their play action, which is like pretty much the only that's what makes the Rams pretty much as good as they are, is their play action. We couldn't stop that. We had a lot of stupid, dumb penalties, even on the final drive after we got the onside kick. There was at least 3 missed holdings on Marcus Golden where he probably would have got a sack if the guy didn't hold him. With Stafford rolling out to the right. And then we had bad play calling overall, right? Like, I mean, everybody's pretty much in consensus that we had bad play calling. Yeah. So with all those things I just said, we almost tied the game or came close to tying the game. So my point here is that with Kyler Murray and with this team, the margin of error that we have is significantly greater than the rest of the league. Like maybe you can put the Packers in there, maybe the Bucks, and that's it. Because if you watch like the Ravens and just, they just Lamar Jackson is just not a great passer. I mean, the Steelers are garbage. Like I don't even know how to compare the AFC to the NFC. But like you see what the Rams, they lose to garbage teams, and the Cowboys have lost to garbage teams. The Packers have an easy schedule. So I'm not concerned about this team at all. Like, I really think that if we lose Hopkins, that closes our margin down to pretty much everyone else, but we're still really, really good. And I mean, Kyler, he had no time and he brought that team all the way back. I mean,
this offense looked like Cliff Kingsbury's first year offense.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So that's a very interesting point that you bring up, Jay, because when we faced the Lakers last year, the last time before we went into the playoffs, and I've referenced this before, I knew the Suns weren't showing anything, and they weren't necessarily losing on purpose, but they were playing drop coverage. They weren't running their 52 action. They weren't doing pick and rolls. They weren't doing anything. It was just straight up throw the ball out and let it play.
Anthony Davis too.
Yeah, they were doing things that you never see before, and nobody believed me. You have a really good point there, Jay. Now that you've mentioned it, I never thought of it during the game because I was there. I was pissed. I paid for $12 for 2 beers, $12 each for 2 beers for that, and a $40 parking. But I did all this just to have this team show up. But I can see that. And when Amit brings up all those points, like, yeah, we did all this and still only lost by this much, I have faith in this team. So,
and to add another thing,
just
to add another thing, when we wanted to score, like right before the half, we did like pretty effortlessly too. Yeah. So we got a field goal range. We tied it going into half. So when we have urgency, we score. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Of course, me being a fan, I want to see us win just about every game, especially if I go to one. But it just seems like Cliff is really just like going bare bones when it comes to going against these top NFC teams. The Rams are still below us, where I think we're still a better team than they are. But yeah, I think we're just preparing for the future, which is kind of exciting if you want to take that route in your head.
Well, the way the game was going, I thought like I was watching it and I felt bad for you guys because you're there, and I'm like, man, this feels like an L. Like the way we were playing early and Kyler missing throws and the interception in the end zone, I'm like, these are L's, right? And I was like, I'm like, Prater's gonna miss this field goal. Like when we got there, I'm like, yeah, we did all that, but we're gonna miss it. And then he made it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you tie it up 13-13 at half, all things considered. Let's roll with it. And then they just dick us on the very next possession. Yeah, and position.
But the refs were awful, like on both sides, because I forget what the sack was at the towards the end of the game, like the last 5 minutes. I don't know if it was Chandler Jones or Golden, but they grabbed Stafford's fucking face mask and flung him around and no flag. And then with that, Isaiah Simmons barely grazed this dude's helmet. Gave the Rams a free play just to bomb the ball down
the very
field.
next play while we were still arguing to the refs. Yeah, they call a quick play and it's just boom, Van Jefferson touchdown.
And there was two defensive plays that I was just like, what are we doing? Because there was one play where that Beckham got that long play where I thought we had the momentum in the game, and then Beckham got somehow switched onto the linebacker.
No. They had 4 guys outside, and they were all doing crossing routes, and all the shit got jumbled in the middle, and then there goes Odell.
And the linebacker, but he got switched on a linebacker. I mean, I guess it's a good play call from the Rams, but he had the angle and he had a linebacker, so he got there. The other play was when we were showing massive jailhouse blitz. Shout out to Madden, and Cooper Kupp gets a quick slant.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. You got at least 3 DBs over there.
They knew what was coming. They knew what was coming every single time. And Matthew Stafford had so much damn time. There's so many times I'm sitting in the upper deck and I can see the window. I'm like, yep, there it is. And then sure enough, he throws it and boom. We had no pressure. Yeah, I'm starting to lean on Jay, what he said. I'm starting to lean on that. Something doesn't add up, and I feel like there was more, and there's more creativity in the play calling as well too. You guys are making fantastic points, but we need to move on Real quick, do we recover and beat the brakes off of the Lions next week? The line is currently Arizona -13. Do we cover that, Jay?
I would say so. Like the lines are pretty bad on both sides of the ball.
They're
But
missing DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson too, by the way. Not that injuries have mattered against us right now.
yeah, I say we cover. Yeah.
What do you think, Amit?
I don't think we cover, but I think we win. I'm going to say we win by 10.
I think it's double digits as well too. Remember the very first year of Cliff and Kyler, they tied that game. Last year, we lost against Detroit. So we haven't beat Detroit yet. Do you think there's anything in there for Kyler? I sure hope so. I hope Kyler comes out and is like, man, we haven't beat one of the most sorry teams in my career. We've played them all 3 years. So I hope that's a little something.
Well, the reason the line is 13 is because they're in a dome. Because if we were playing the Bears, like if you saw the Bears line, I think we were like 4.5.
Yeah.
Against the Bears. It's like because it's outside and there's weather. There's no weather. So take that away. That's not an element that's going to impact this game. And if it comes down to we just got a game plan, it's a short week, but we got a game plan. We got to get focused. We can't talk about Hop. AJ Green's got to step up.
Yeah.
Wesley's got to step up.
This is why we went out and
ready.
got Ertz. This is why we got Ertz too.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think it comes down to Cliff, man. Cliff, I mean, Kyler can't be throwing interceptions in the end zone. 2 interceptions.
You know, Jay,
for
you
K1.
made that point that like it looked like the first year Cliff, and those look like throws. Those 2 interceptions were throws that Kyler made in his first year.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't make those. He never made those throws this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like they were just like fake scheming just to see like what they would do, honestly, because like Kyler is like his third year in, like I think he knows not to do that, and all of us us just fans, like we see that you don't throw it there. Like we've seen Russell Wilson lose a ring for that, and like so in that stadium. So it's like not to throw it at the 3 or within the 5, but
and,
yeah.
And James Conner might be out.
Is Chase Edmonds back yet? Or
I hope so. We really
I think
miss
he's coming
him.
back Sunday.
I don't know why Eno didn't get any carries that night. I mean, that's
weird.
what happens. That's what happens when you make James Conner a bell cow. So one thing also to note, the Colts and Patriots play Saturday night, who we play the following Saturday, which is Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have an extra day off. Granted, they've got to travel to us, but this is technically that game coming up is going to be on NFL Network on Christmas Day. That's going to be a lot of eyes on us again. Keep that in mind going into next week as we take on the Lions. But there are a lot of games coming up. I mean, tomorrow night, Chiefs and Chargers, playoff implications. Boom. Saturday, the first round of Saturday games, we've got Raiders and Browns, playoff implications. Patriots and Colts that night. And then going in on Sunday, Panthers and Bills, playoff implications. Jets and Dolphins, technically Dolphins can do something. Cowboys and Giants, Cowboys at the Giants, they can still do something. They're leading to the division. If we lose another seat and we play them later, or we just lose to them later, they can jump on us. Playoff implications. Washington and Eagles, both of them are 6-7. Playoffs. Titans and Steelers, more playoffs, not Texans and Jags. No. Bengals and Broncos, same record. Playoff implications. 49ers and Falcons, big game for us to be watching. Seahawks and Rams, big game. Packers and Ravens, Saints and Bucks, and then we close it out with Vikings and Bears, and Vikings could still technically do something. It is a slew of games, except for one, that Jaguars and Texans matchup. That's the only game that has no playoff implications. This is a big week in the NFL. This is a big week for the Cardinals to make moves in the standings. I think some teams are going to falter. Some teams are going to rise. Let's just hope we're not one of those teams that falter. Real quick, before we go into Phoenix Sun stuff, I want to take about 5-10 minutes and talk about this. COVID's on the rise. 75 players in the NFL in COVID stuff, COVID protocols, 25 in the NBA, over 100 total players are in COVID protocols at that time. Jay, are you starting to get worried that the season might maybe not necessarily be canceled, maybe postponed, maybe new stuff coming up? The NBA just came out and said they're going to go and look at their protocols for the teams and testing and all that stuff. So they've already had those meetings. Stuff will be coming out soon. Jay, are you worried about this year's Suns and Cardinals being canceled or anything weird like that?
I mean, you and I were talking about it before we went on, just about the whole COVID situation. As a fan, I'm worried, but we've proven that we can still, the NBA can still put on a show despite COVID restrictions and stuff. Just moving just everybody back six to 10 rows, and just keeping the fans away from the players. That's just a thing at the end of the day. I think the NBA wants to continue to have people come to the games and, show support and stuff. But I think the NBA and NFL have gone a little loose with the COVID thing. Like it just kind of blew over. But like we have players interacting with fans like a lot more now, handing balls to kids in the stands and jumping into crowds. And like COVID's still on the rise. So there's a new variant out. There's still like half the country that hasn't gotten a vaccine shot. So it's just I hope the NFL, NBA will take it seriously, especially the NFL. They're not the best with starting like preventing things quickly, but Roger Goodell. But I have faith in the NBA. Adam Silver did a great job with the whole bubble situation. It was fun for me to watch personally. It just reminded me of AAU basketball. But I don't think we're going to get back to the bubble. I think it's just moving fans back, keeping that fan player interaction very limited. And I know at the Footprint Center they're doing health screenings. So I think that they scan your forehead to make sure you're not walking in with 102 degrees.
They didn't for me on Friday.
Oh, really?
But no, they said we had to wear a mask, and then nobody cared once you got inside. Once you got inside, past that, you take it off, and nobody.
That's Arizona.
Anybody?
Oh yeah, that is Arizona for you. But I know the NBA will, put their foot down and restrict some things. But I think it just takes moving fans away from the players. Yeah,
that's where I'm at. I mean, at this point, definitely maybe have enforced something a little bit stricter for the players. I'm not sure, but I really don't know why they didn't stick to having the fans 4, 5, 6 rows back and having those like banners and going all the way around, not having people right behind you, not going up and asking players for autographs, that kind of thing. I'm surprised they did that. I personally would like to see that again. I mean, whatever it's going to take to make sure that these seasons go on and go forward at this point, considering we're doing so good. I don't think they're going to restrict fan access as far as, every other row or something like that they were doing, or every other section. I don't think it's going to go there. Amit, what are your thoughts on COVID in sports right now?
Well, I don't want to get into a whole vaccine thing about it, but I think
interesting comment by JV. The Bulls, Chicago, its masks are heavily enforced. Nowhere near anything in Arizona, by the way.
And when I was at SoFi Stadium, the 2 times I've been this season for a Chargers game and a Rams game, I had to they had to show proof of my vaccination. So I mean, here's the thing: I'm not concerned because a year ago we didn't have a vaccination, or we had a limited vaccination. Now that we have it and we know that it prevents people from dying, then I'm not really concerned. I know it everyone's going into health and, they're going into protocols. It's really weird to me because I'm wondering, are those guys vaccinated or not? Because
that's another thing too. Yeah.
Because if you are vaccinated and you go into protocols, you can come back, I think in 2 days or something.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to me that, okay, if you're not vaccinated, well, that's, that's a thing. That's a competitive advantage. And that's what I love about the Cardinals, that I think Cliff and Kingpin said we're 100% vaxxed. I got to throw that out there because I love that nickname. So
I was coming back to that, by the way, at the end of the pod. I was saving that, but yeah, throw it out there. I meant shit.
Yeah. I got a nickname at the end too for doing that. So, I mean, I'm not concerned because I feel like we can quickly get in and out of it if our guys are vaccinated. And I'm pretty sure I think the Suns are all vaccinated. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so, but I remember Booker was in protocols to start the season.
But then he said he was. After he got COVID, he said he was vaxxed.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I just don't remember him saying that he got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're probably
he
right.
made a point to say that he was vaccinated. So hopefully it's not like a Aaron Rodgers thing where he's like lying, straight up lying. I don't think he would do that. I think he's the type of guy, but yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned. I don't think we're going to go into a bubble. I don't think we're going to shut down as a country, as an economy, because I don't think people will do that shit again. But, I checked the stats today, and I think like 71% at least have one dose. So, this whatever's happening with this, like people getting they're not breakthrough cases. I'm wondering
that
if they're just not vaccinated.
I mean, Omicron.
Yeah. LeBronicon or whatever they're LeBronicon.
LeBronicon.
Yeah. So he wants it so he can go back and get his Disney Mickey championship.
It's just a really weird time, and I didn't think we would be going through this still.
Me too.
It sucks. I'm over it. And if you're listening, just go get the shot, man. And it doesn't really hurt, and you'll be fine, and we can go on with our lives.
Just move the fans back.
Yeah.
If
nothing else, move the fan back. Move the fans back. Don't allow media access, or just do this Skype or Zoom stuff like you were doing last year. That's fine. Limit. What they were doing last year is they had like the tunnel entrance was just all Suns. They could just go right to the through the tunnel and then go right out to the court. Now you got security and all these people are just walking around there. Limit that stuff. The one thing I didn't like for the players that was so hard for them last year was they couldn't go out on the road and do anything. They couldn't go out to restaurants. They couldn't. Yeah. They were basically just in their fucking dorm room or hotel rooms. I didn't like that from like a humane standpoint. I mean, granted, they're making millions of dollars, but I would be pissed. I wouldn't be having fun. I wouldn't want to play basketball if I just have to go and travel and sit in another damn hotel room, I don't want it to go that far, but they've shown that they can do it, and maybe there's ways they can make it better for them. But we just don't want to see bad things happen and the sports close down. So on to the defending Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns. What a weird week since we've been together. They go into Boston thinking I thought they were just going to lose. No DA when I found out. I was like, F this game. I'm going to go have fun, drink a bunch of beers. And they come out and JaVale McGee hits a 3. Jay Crowder wins me $375 on DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings. You guys could be our next sponsor. Think about that. And then on Monday, it was just a stinker. It was a bad day on Monday for all sports teams. And then they come back Tuesday and they're up 14-15 yesterday in the second half. Drop it real quickly. Chris Paul goes in, hits his little 8-foot fader, no problem. Dame comes down. I'm like, here it is. This is going to be the moment the Blazers pick back. Oh, he turns it over, going to overtime, and we just kind of took over from overtime, winning by 4. We looked like the better team. So kind of a weird up and down considering.
Did you guys think that was a foul?
Which one?
For Dame?
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was close.
How they're calling things now, it could have gone either way.
And now things like this are coming out where Rocco and Nurkic, who, I mean, I don't want to say I called it with Rocco, but you could kind of see that from a mile coming. Nurkic, I don't want a piece of Nurkic on this team. That just doesn't fit for us. Just like Domantas Sabonis. I love Sabonis. I would love nothing more than to see Sabonis and Ayton play together. But that's just not going to work. What are you going to do? Move Jay Crowder to the bench or include him in a deal? I don't know if we can get rid of Jay Crowder. I really don't.
No, he's too instrumental.
That's such an important piece to us. So there's weird trade winds swirling. Again, I just want Rocco or Torrey Craig, and I'll come out happy as hell. Obviously, that means we're going to go and we're going to trade for Sadiq Bey or something. They're not going to get rid of him, but a player like that. I mean, I would like Jeremy Grant. I would trade Jay Crowder for Jeremy Grant in Detroit. I would do that. Absolutely. He's bigger. He has the same skill set. He can go out and shoot the 3 at a better clip. He is not as up and down as Jay Crowder, and that is a dude that can get you 25 to 30 points.
Yeah, but
that is one guy I would go get.
Though.
No, you'd have to throw in Jay, Sticks, and Dario Saric, and then we'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know, man.
I would do.
I'll
it
come
for- I
back
would
to you
do it
with
for
that.
him.
I would love Jeremy Grant though.
I would do it for him.
I don't know. He
that.
didn't like his role with the Nuggets. He felt like he didn't have that role. Like he should have been that guy on the Nuggets.
Well,
You know
how's
what I mean?
losing doing?
Right?
How's that going? How's being the man and losing? How's that?
He's young enough where I think it doesn't matter yet. I don't think it matters to him yet.
Yep. I completely agree. But then again, he wanted to go to that town, black GM, black coach, and that was really important to him, and he chose there. So it's kind of funny that a player of that caliber choose to go to your trash franchise for specific reasons, and then you're going to give him the boot. That doesn't sit well with me. So I'm sure he'll be happy wherever he goes. But I would.
And
take
just
Jeremy
to be
Grant.
specific, we're not saying that because they have a black coach or a black GM, they're trash.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
We're talking about the organization. itself
the
is
organization is trash as is, regardless of who the GM or coach is
Yes.
at this point. They've been trash for 20 years, but he went there because of a black GM and a black coach, and he was very vocal about that. Like, good, go for it. If that's where you want to be, like, fucking go for it. I'm all about star players or high players going to the lower teams. Balance everything out. But now they're just going to go out and ditch him? No, I don't like that. Just like that's why I don't want to trade Jay Crowder, is because he chose to go to us, right? He chose to come here and sign a free agent deal. I don't want to push that out the door, but I'd do it for Jeremy Grant.
I'm gonna have to think about that. I'll text you later.
Don't think it's the right answer. You don't need to think.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if that's the move. I still think the Thad Young deal. I know he sucked when we saw him, but I still think that's the deal. And if we can do it without giving up, if we can do it in a buyout, that'd be even better. Because I'd love to keep Sarge around because he may be able to play this season.
Oh, could you imagine Saric and Kaminsky off the bench with DA with McGee?
Right.
Oh, be still my
Watch
heart.
out,
Be
Milwaukee.
still. Be still. No, that is what I would like to see. I mean, if he came back, it would be 8 to 12 minutes max, which I think that's all you need from him.
Exactly. At this point, because you're not going to get defense, but you're going to get that secondary playmaking off the short pick and roll. You know, that's all you need, and the 3-point shooting. Like that's what you need.
He's so good at that, man.
Yeah,
he's so good at that. I mean, just for reference, just because I like to create some shit. Jeremy Grant is averaging 20 points this year after averaging 22 last year. For the record, he only averaged 12 with Denver, then made a jump to 20, 22, and 20 this year. He is shooting 41% field goal percentage, only 33 from 3-point. Now, granted, he doesn't have a lot of guys giving him spot shots wide open, right? He doesn't have that. He shot 35 last year. Years before that, when he did, 38 and 39%. So we know that
you'd have to go into advanced stats and look at his spot up shots versus off dribble. I'm assuming like probably 70% of his threes are off dribble versus when he was Denver was like probably 70% spot up.
Easy. His minutes are up, obviously, 8 more minutes a game. His rebounds are a little bit up. His assists are double, but they're at 2.6, so that's really not saying much. So basically, it's just scoring. But that is a guy I'd like to get, and he's only 27. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. If that dude were to come available, I would love to get it. I don't want DeMontis. I love Sabonis. I love Sabonis's game. He tears us up every time. I think he would be lethal. It just doesn't fit. Jay, what do you think of the trade rumors going around right now?
Man, it's kind of nice being in kind of like the driver's seat when it comes to trade talks
pick
and
of the
stuff.
Litter.
You know, yeah, the pick of the litter. I would be more on the Jeremy Grant, bandwagon if it was if we were in next year's time when we're looking at contracts and stuff like that. But I think as of right now, I wouldn't want to get rid of Jay Crowder. A lot of people are ready to cough up Cam Johnson, which
no way.
Yeah,
who's ready to give up Cam Johnson?
I've been seeing that a lot in trades.
There's a lot of Twitter talk on that. Yeah.
So I don't know. We definitely can't get rid of the core. I think Jay's doing a fine job right now. Like the people that are on the table to trade Jalen Smith, Dario, you can probably throw Frank in there too. Wainwright, some picks. Like Those are the people that are on the table. I don't see us trading really anybody else. So I don't know who we can get for all of that. Uh, what we talked about last time when we were talking about trades, Ahmed brought up that we need a small ball 5, and I'm 100% on board with that. So Jeremy Grant would be amazing in that role, and I think he would fit on this team right now. But I wouldn't want to move Jade to the bench, and I think it would just be a little weird if we were able to balance both of them. But I hope we can get Torrey Craig in a buyout or something. I don't know. It's just like I feel like a lot of teams need to blow up their current teams right now, like the Pistons. Like Indiana's doing that. I already thought Indiana was going to do that. I think Portland needs to, but they're in such a denial that they won't do it. And Boston,
They really are.
like Boston really needs to blow up their team too, and they just won't. And now Danny Ainge is going to the fucking Jazz. Like he's like, oh, I'm retired, whatever. And now he's just part of the Jazz organization now, doing some Bruce Arians shit. So, like, it's just like I don't know who we can possibly get. I've been looking at Dallas. I think Dallas needs to blow up a little bit. I think they're sort of denial too that they can compete for something, maybe a second round, possibly. But Luka being hurt all the time, Porzingis doesn't look all the way there.
Porzingis hasn't looked there since 2014 or 15.
Yeah, but I think it's just an environment at the end of the day. You know, I don't think Luka is a nice guy to be around. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't think you can win a championship with him being the lead guy. But a lot I've been given flack for that statement, but I'm dying on that hill. But I just don't know, honestly. I'm really looking at Indiana to see who we can get. I'm definitely on Rocco if we can get him at a reasonable negotiation and stuff. But time will tell. I'm surprised there wasn't a trade today. But how long is this trade deadline?
February. So there's plenty of time. There's plenty
so we have plenty of time. So I'm not tripping about it. If it happens, it happens. As long as we don't touch the core, I'm more than happy. And 100% trust in James Jones at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. For anybody saying that Cam Johnson needs to be traded, the man is finally hitting 40% on his threes. He's at almost 41% shooting on three after a low start. So, he's had to be scorching hot in the last 15, 20 games.
He's getting better every year. I don't know why you would want to,
he's shooting like 54% from three or something from the last half of the season so far.
And plus, his defense is like a million times better.
Now we're going to have to make a decision about him coming up now soon. His deal is going to be coming up and we got to do something with him. So maybe that is a piece that you need to trade for a bigger, better veteran.
I don't think so. I don't think so
either.
I think he's the future small ball 5. I think he's the future like that because we saw him in spurts this season so far where Monty's put him in and you're like, oh shit, this is a whole nother dynamic when you have literally 5 3-point shooters that can dribble to the rim, get to the rim, and now you got defense. Defense doesn't slip at all. So everything's switched.
For the record, Jeremy Grant is 6'8", 210 pounds. Cameron Johnson is 6'8", 210 pounds.
Wow, they're the same stature.
I'm just saying. And interesting. Cam Johnson is 25. Jeremy Grant's 27. Just saying. He does need to put a little more poundage on. I'd like to see Torrey Craig, but Torrey Craig is a big dude. That's hard. That's hard to get up there like Thad Young. Like those are just big dudes. Do you think Jay Iverson Vlogs has a good point? How do you think his contract will look once it's time to pay him?
What, Jeremy Grant or Cam?
No, Cam. You got to look at the horrible fucking contract with Landry Shamet. By the way, I would trade Shamet if there's anybody to trade. I've seen some stuff.
Shamet's on the table too.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff where Eric Gordon might be available. Shit, get Eric Gordon in here and ship Landry Shamet away.
There's no way, dude. That guy's like Monty's son. Like, there's no way they're trading him.
I know. I know.
And I know, like, he has been inconsistent, and he doesn't bring the same defense that, Javon Carter would bring. But Javon Carter wouldn't be able to make the shots that he's making.
It's still an upgrade. Yes, I know that.
But I think what it is that, like, we got to find how he fits in. Because his best game, he's like a JJ Redick guy. He's like a ball movement 3-point guy. He's not a stand around shoot, because like when he goes in the paint, he gets blocked every time or he misses the layup. Yeah. So he's got to figure out, and they ran a few plays for him out of bounds where he got a decent like shot. You know, they did some things for him. They got to figure out more stuff for him, because in the flow of the offense with Campaign sucking right now, and I'll say that, like, I think Campaign is sucking right now, it's not going to work because it's just, these guys are just not synced.
No, ever since that Champagne tweet came out, they have looked like a whole.
I want to use it so bad.
I want to also, but I mean, for the record, he's shooting 38% from 3. You know what he shot last year? 38.7. You know what he shot the year before? 37.5.
Yeah.
So this is who he is. Granted, his first 2 years he was shooting. No, I was looking. No, okay. 3-point percentage: 38.7 last year, 37.5. His first 2 years in the league, he was shooting over 40%, 40 and 45% respectively. His scoring is down a couple. His field goals are down. His 3-point shots are down 1 a game. His rebounding is actually up. His minutes are actually down by 4 minutes per game as well too. And his rebounds are up and his assists are up. That's actually that's an interesting stat right there considering. But he just seems to not being able to hit his groove. You're right. They're showing a few things where they're getting him free. I look at him more as Danny Green.
I was literally about to say that. Well, what I was going to say is that Shaman
no, you
is
weren't.
Yeah,
I was. Thunder.
Hey, motherfucker. But yeah, I was literally thinking that he's a little better Danny Green. We just need him to pop the shots, and he's better on defense. He's better with the boards, and I think he understands the offensive groove a little more than Danny Green. So as long as he hits the shots at the end of the game, like what are we talking about? Because that's usually when he hits the shots.
That's what he's there for. He's there to hit it. Now, Landry Shamet is 6'4". Danny Green is 6'5". For what it's worth, and
probably a little longer too. I think he probably has a longer wingspan too.
His whole career, he's a 40% shooter. His worst career shooting percentage was actually the Lakers. No wonder they hated him so much. But 2015-16, he shot 33%. He shot 36 that year, 40% last year, 39% this year. So I mean, he is Danny Green. He's a little bit smaller. I wish he could bulk up a little bit. That's for sure. In Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet's only $190, dripping wet. So he definitely needs to get up in the 205. But Iverson has a good point. Would you move Shamet and package for LeVert? I mean, I love LeVert, but I don't know how LeVert's going to fit long term, man. So a player like Gordon, I think, makes more sense because he can come off and he can be that hot, streaky shooter for us that we need, that we thought he would be. But we're gonna, I mean, look, what is our height gonna be then if you have Campaign and Eric Gordon as your backcourt?
The thing is, we're all tied to
Campaign, would be awful.
But we're all tied to Campaign. But those two players, I would trade Campaign for them.
I was never sold on it. Like, what did Campaign do in the bubble? He took control and he balled the fuck out, right? And he earned that next contract.
He's just doing too much right now, and I feel like once Booker's back, like everyone's gonna.
But what happened to him last year? What happened to him last year? He got injured for a whole amount of time, and he wasn't ready to come back.
Yeah,
when he came back, he was streaky, right? He was streaky when he came back.
He had a career high in the playoffs when Chris Paul had COVID.
Yeah. But when push came to shove, Campaign has shown up. Nobody can say otherwise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing we can say about him.
And a lot of backup point guards aren't like Campaign. You know, they're not momentum shifters or as streaky as he is. You know, Campaign doesn't get a lot of props just from media analysts and stuff, but he's probably one of the better backup point guards in the league, if not the best backup point guard right now.
To both your guys' points, like, things haven't mattered yet. Like, they don't matter yet.
Exactly.
Like, do you remember that Clippers game in the regular season where he had that left-hander that went over the backboard? He stole the ball and then like made that left-handed over the backboard. Like, he won that game for us. it was a crucial game because there was seeding involved, where it was a potential playoff matchup. We needed to win that game at home. Like, and then I mentioned the game earlier when he against the Clippers. Was it the Clippers? I think it was the Clippers when Chris Paul was out with COVID and he had a career high. So
yeah, that was Clips.
Like when he's ready, he's ready. The thing is, we're expecting like that campaign right now, and we're not seeing it.
Yeah,
and I thought there'd be a level up for him. That's what I thought.
Here's the thing, and when you look at the stats, here's the thing. In the bubble, he averaged 10.9 points. Last year, he averaged 8.4. This year, he's actually averaging 10.5 points. But here's the thing with him. Last year, he had 48.5% field goal percentage, just total field goal. You know, I don't know how many times he's missed a damn layup off the bank this year. This year, 38.5. His field goal percentage is down 10 points. And
he's shooting too much.
He's shooting the ball 3 times more per game. When you go to 3-point shots, last year, 44%. Last year, or I guess it was technically last year in the bubble, 52% 3-point percentage. This year, 31.6. And he's averaging more this year, averaging more shots. He has more rebounds. His assists are right there. His steals are, everything else is right there. His minutes are actually up. It's a shooting percentage.
He's doing too much.
But he's doing things he's not doing too much. He's doing things that he made last year. He's just staying on right now.
No, there's plays where there was a play where he's doing it, but he's doing those same plays like more often than he normally would. So like when he got blocked, you guys remember he got blocked on that 3-point shot against Clippers, right? I'm like, dude, what, like the play is your shot's not there. You got to reset the offense and figure something else out. Like that little sidestep 3, it only works a few times. It doesn't work as many times as he's trying to do it. Or like you mentioned, like him going to the lane, trying to lay it off the glass. You can only do that like a few times a game. You can't do that like more than like 2 times a game. And he's trying to do it like 5 times a game. Or he's trying to make like an entry pass to like JaVale McGee or somebody, and it's people are stealing it. And like that's not the offense. You need to reset, do the pick and roll and reset the offense, and he's not doing that at times.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, so we see the things in Shamit's what's going wrong. JaVale McGee had a really bad streak. Cam Johnson had a bad streak when he started the season off. Campaign now, how much is this attributed to the second unit just not being able to mesh at all, considering injuries, COVID, whatever? Is it due to that?
No, I mean that's like
70% of it.
Yeah, I mean we added 3 new players to the second unit, and like the starting unit, we know what they can do. Like the basically like the top 6 guys, top 7 guys, we know what they can do. Which
is why the second unit would outplay the starters at the beginning of last year, because they're the ones that had the chemistry. Remember when the starters couldn't do shit for the first quarter of the season?
Yeah, that's what it is. So we're trying to figure it out with the second unit, but the problem is like, what's flipped is like our first unit, they couldn't figure it out. They'd be like in a close game, or maybe have like the other team would have like a lead or a small lead. And then the second unit would come in and build us a lead, and then we close it. Now it's like, well, we come in with a big lead with the starting unit, and then the second unit comes in, blows that lead, and now we're in a fight for the second half, trying to win the game.
Yep.
What's crazy is that we are winning these games, 22-5, baby,
and we're still winning.
And we're still going through and winning, and this is what we're talking about. So, with the week coming ahead, really looking forward to coming on Sunday night. I really want to get this Rams taste out of my mouth. So I can't wait to come back on, talk about the Lions, who are, if I had a second favorite team, they still wouldn't be it. My second favorite team would probably be the Packers, just because I love the fact that Green Bay owns the team, and that just is near and dear to my always fight for the little guy self. But we play Washington tomorrow, no book. And then we play home to Charlotte. Charlotte is a damn good team. So we're basically going to be here for a post-game podcast with 2, which it's been a couple weeks since we've had one. How are we going to fare in these games? No book tomorrow. We're home to Washington and home to Charlotte. Jay, are we getting 2 wins or 1-1, 2 losses? What are we doing?
Washington is pretty solid this year. I think
Yeah.
they're kind of blowing a lot of people's expectations, and a
They
lot of
lost.
people have.
They
A lot
lost
of
tonight,
people.
though.
Oh, who did they lose to?
They lost to. They lost to the fucking Kings tonight.
Oh. But yeah, this seems pretty solid. Kuzma, he's playing a lot better this year, and
He's out,
Harrell.
by the way. He's gonna be out.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He was back. He played tonight.
Oh, did he play? Because it said he was out for the Suns game. But okay, so I guess he's back.
Kuzma played tonight, so we'll see, right?
Is Hachimura back?
No,
he's not.
All right.
Neither is Thomas Bryant. Someday he'll be on the Suns. Thomas Bryant someday.
I think we win the Washington game tomorrow. In the Charlotte game, I'm a little iffy about. If everybody shows up, and there's rumors that Booker might come in the Charlotte game or the Lakers game, but I'm not putting my chips on the Charlotte game. But I say we go 1-1. I think we lose to Charlotte in a close one. I think we could spare a game. We have like a 5-game cushion, so whatever.
Yeah, I think we're gonna beat the Wizards tomorrow night because they're coming off of a back-to-back. And I'm checking the Hornets schedule to see if they're going to come off of a back-to-back. They play Friday at Portland and then Sunday at us. So, no, they do not come off a back-to-back.
Have a 3-day break?
No, they play tomorrow, which is no, they play Friday and then they play Sunday.
Okay.
So, we're definitely going to beat them. And LaMelo is out. So, who knows if LaMelo is actually going to be coming and playing. Amit, what do you think?
I think we're going to win the Washington game. Now that you're saying LaMelo's out, I feel like we should.
If LaMelo's out, then we'll probably win.
We should probably win that game. They're not as consistent as they've been. Dude, Booker's coming back for that Lakers game. He's going to be rocking that baby. Sure. He's going to be rocking that baby.
Where you at, Russ?
Yeah.
Where you at, Russ?
Where you at, dog? He's going to be back for that game for sure.
Trying to look under injury stuff, and man, they just don't make it easy for you, do they, to find injury reports?
Yes.
What I do is I go to ESPN and you go to the Gamecast under scores, and it'll tell you. That's why I thought
that's exactly where I was just at.
Oh, okay.
He was assigned to the Greensboro Swarm. What a great name, the Greensboro Swarm, on Wednesday. And Ish Smith is out, one of my favorite former Phoenix Suns players. We had a chance to see Elfrid Payton, Cam Payne, and Ish Smith all on the court at the same time, the 3 fastest players in the NBA, and we are getting robbed of that. Thanks a lot, COVID. Yeah. Thanks a lot. With no LaMelo Ball, I mean, I can see Terry Rozier going off on us. Terry Rozier always does. But you'd like to think that's 2 wins for us, right? Like, that's got to be 2 dubs.
I mean, that's our expectation at the end of the day, but we have to be realistic here.
So,
yeah,
the point I'd put in here is like these games that we won, like we kind of like won on house money because we didn't have Ayton or we didn't have Jalen Smith or both. But, dude, Ayton in that last game, we didn't even talk about that. We completely ignored that.
Yeah, it's true. And he said he lost 10 pounds, by the way.
He was dominant.
Dude was incredible last night.
Dude looked like Amari on a couple plays. And if that's the kind of and I keep saying this, dude, he's got that hook shot. That's his go-to move now. He's got a go-to move. Like, this guy has developed a post game really quickly. He's only 23. When he figures out who he is in like 2 years, the league's in trouble.
He's gonna be crazy.
He's in fucking trouble.
I hope so. Washington's a small team. Charlotte's a smaller team. Who is Charlotte's center even?
Is it Zeller?
No, he's at Portland. Oh yeah, Mason Plumlee.
Yeah. If LaMelo's not playing, not to say LaMelo is like the factor of this game. It's just like if they're fully healthy, then they could probably just probably just outpace us at the end of the day. But if LaMelo's not playing, and we just have to watch for Terry Rozier. And plus, they don't have Malik Monk anymore. So
no, they don't. Is Hayward healthy?
No, but Gordon Hayward had 40 points tonight, but it was against the Spurs. Okay. I mean, their starting lineup is basically Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, Mason Plumlee, and it could be the revenge Kelly Oubre game.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's had plenty of opportunities to have a revenge game.
I really wish he would have stayed with the Warriors when they were just so trash last year with him. But
it would be
here
interesting
we
if
are
he was
now.
still on that Warriors team now, and then we just have like this little competition thing going on. That would be cool. But
There's a reason we got rid of him, man. He didn't fit our style. He didn't fit Golden State style, which is ball movement, go go go. And he just didn't fit. Wish him all the best, but I'm glad he's not there. So we're all picking wins. We're picking wins for the Lions game as well too. Everything looks like it's going to be on the up and up, but I have one final question. Is Steve Keim, aka Kingpin, going to make a quick little phone call to our friend Larry Fitz, Jay Joyce? Is he going to call him up and say, "Hey, 5 games, come on back"?
I don't think so. I just don't see it happening. I feel like Larry's lost his drive, and at this point, I just want to play with the cards that we have now. I want to see what Etwan Wesley can do.
Yep.
And I just want to close out the season just with wins. I just want to win against the Lions, get our playoff spot, yay, and then I just want to win our conference.
I don't even know. I don't even remember who we play after the Lions. I don't even care right now. It doesn't
Cowboys.
Matter.
Cowboys. Or is it Colts?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, Colts. You're right. Colts.
It's Colts, Cowboys, Seattle.
I didn't want to know. My point was just focus on winning this game. Damn it.
Yeah. So, like, shit, if Larry wants to come in the playoffs, I mean, fuck it. But I I just don't see him coming back. Like, especially at this point, I feel like if he was going to come back, it would have been after the Green Bay game. I just don't feel like he wants to come back. And I wish he would have had I saw that. I just wish he would have had like a kind of like a Kobe last year. Just like
a fanfare around the league.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've seen a lot of things where he didn't want that. Obviously, we don't know if that's true or not, but look, Amit, you already said
Urban Meyer isn't the coach for the Jaguars anymore.
Did that just happen?
They fired him?
Yeah. Urban Meyer is out as the Jaguars head coach. That literally just came out.
Where is he coaching next?
Breaking
ASU.
news.
That bar where that chick was grinding on him.
Yeah, with your face.
Wow.
Man, dude, that sucks.
Just like that. No,
Well, that's smart though.
We hardly
they
knew
to
you.
Get rid of him.
Just bounce.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about playing Robinson in the playoffs. I drafted Robinson because he was such a baller last year, and then he hasn't done nothing because he wasn't in favor of him. Now I'm wondering if they're just going to go back to him and feed him. But anyways, Amit, I know you don't want to bring Fitz back, but Jay, you're too young for this. But Amit, do you remember the year Jason Kidd got hurt and we went to the playoffs? That's the year we came back and he died. And he died it, yeah. And who came back?
KJ?
Kevin Johnson.
One of my top 3 Suns players of all time.
I'm just saying, it would be beautiful to see him coming back and hear everybody chanting Larry again, right?
I think it would be a huge. Here's the thing. Like, I think it would be a huge lift at home games. Because remember when he would get that first catch and people go fucking crazy? But he's going to catch like 1 catch a game, like on this team. Like, he's not going to get the ball a lot. And I don't want to take away from the offensive scheme that we're in. Like, we should not be scheming to get Larry Fitzgerald the ball. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather see Christian Kirk in that role because I think he's pretty much that guy now.
Kirk is better now. Yeah.
He's better. And he's shown elite pass catching ability through the first part of the season. Second half, he hasn't got as many opportunities, but he's still good. He's still good.
As a fan, I would love to have him back, but
something about it I just feel like would be complete.
Do you understand the dream if we saw Larry Fitzgerald catching the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl or in the NFC Championship? Like, we'd fucking go. We would go insane.
Bananas. Yeah.
It would just be like icing on the fucking cake.
We would fight every Niners fan that wore a Jerry Rice jersey. Like, we would punch him in the nose, instantly. Like, get out of here.
Right.
The goat is there is one goat, and that's that guy.
It is a great story. It's a great comeback story. If I ever heard one, if Larry was to pop in right now, just fill that. And then let's say we go against Green Bay in the NFC Championship, and Larry has a similar performance that he did in 2015. That would be some crazy ass shit, but
it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not, and we don't even know if he's in football shape.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Don't know.
That's another thing too.
And the scheme is different too, right? So it's like, I mean, he was there last year, but I mean, there's some wrinkles. So, look, like I don't know what we can do. All we can do is hope that Wesley can step up. Isabella is going to have to play in the 4 or 5 receiver spot when somebody's out. I know nobody likes that, but he did score some touchdowns his rookie season. He did play pretty well, had some playmaking plays. I mean, and honestly, AJ Green, to me, like when I watch him, I'm like, this is Cincinnati Bengals AJ Green.
Yeah,
like this, like the thing is, he's in an offense where he doesn't get the ball, like he doesn't get 15 targets. Same with Hopkins, right? Like you mentioned, he doesn't have a 100-yard receiving game this season. So it's like the offense is predicated on spreading the ball around to everyone, and everybody has to make plays. So we're down our best playmaker at this point. So somebody has to step up and be a better playmaker.
Yep. And honestly, if you ask me, K1 and K2, man. Period. Point blank. K2's got to be able to come up with the plays, have a nice game plan. K1 has to go out and execute, and that line has to give him more than a split second. That line, man, looked like a train wreck. So I'm glad we won't be seeing Aaron Donald again. That obviously helps. But I mean, dude, even on the replays that they were showing at the stadium, he was beating Rodney Hudson on pass plays. Like, he was killing us. Our line was awful.
Aaron Donald. That's Aaron Donald. And you know what?
It's Aaron Donald.
Those guys, if you saw how they were celebrating, even during the game when they had a 2-touchdown lead, that's going to come back. That's LeBron doing his little thing, and Andre Drummond doing, like, these guys think they got it, and they don't. They're not that
Bring
good.
it on then.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Go. You know what? Everybody picked us to win that game, and that's a kiss of death. It really is. When everybody picked us and all the analysts, and they had Cardinals all on the bottom line, something didn't feel right to me. So this is that extra chip on the shoulder that we continually need to have as Arizona sports fans and sports teams. That is going to wrap it up here for episode 31 of He's on Fire podcast. Please share this out. Please like the button. Hulk smash, like, all that fun shit. Subscribe to us. We appreciate you guys. Happy holidays. Later.
Urkavici sets. Looks up. And it is caught. Down strong. Blitz coming. Matthews. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is insane to the 4-yard line. Crowder looking, throws it alley-oop. Oh! Puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly. But Deandre Hopkins